Yo, guys, it's me, Rowdy Retro Viewer. I never thought I'd see the day while I would discuss a video about this. Is making a TV show and movie hard? Well, on the one hand, it's probably not that difficult. But on the other hand, yeah, it can be very difficult to pull off. I mean, there have been so many TV shows and movies that we grew up watching for years. Like The Incredibles, Space Jam 2 A New Legacy, very good movie. Scoob, another good movie that I like. Happy Gilmore, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, All Grown Up, which is a Rugrats spin-off show. I guess I brought the DVD version of The Incredibles again. The Secret Squirrel, DuckTales, and Back to the Future, for example. 3 movies and an animated series. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking about this. Well, sometimes most TV shows and movies will have a bit of a troubled production. You're trying to decide on what that TV show and movie should look like, depending on what direction it was going for. Now, to be fair, not all of them can be disappointing. Because we all know how different the movie Scoob was compared to compared to what we know and loved. Because according to the concept art, which I brought up in my review of this film, it was going to be a lot darker and grittier. Kind of like the 1989 Batman movie. And it was going to feature other Hanna-Barbera characters. Other than Dynamite and Blue Falcon, Dee Skies and Captain Caveman, Dastardly and Muddy, and Mystery Inc. themselves. Those being the members of the Falcon Force, Jabberjaw, Grape Ape, Atamant, and Penelope Pitstop, who would end up being replaced by Dee Skies. And at one point, the Great Gazoo was going to be the villain of the film. And I have no idea how that would have worked out. But that's besides the point. It's not always that easy trying to make a good TV show or movie. Heck, I even own a few movies in my VHS collection that were probably like guilty pleasures in my opinion. Like Meteor Man, for example. Yeah, I kind of found out the film wasn't that great. But I wouldn't say it's that horrible. I mean, to be fair, I didn't know anything about Meteor Man until I found this at a thrift store. And I still had a good time with it. But yeah, just think about it. When you're working in Hollywood, it's not always that easy trying to create a TV show or movie that has to be 100% perfect. I mean, I should be thanking a lot of internet critics like Nostalgia Critic, Sean Schmeghead Moore of Cinematic Excrements, Minty Comedic Arts, Cinema Snob, Andre Meadows aka Black Nerd Comedy, and so many more. Which, by the way, shoutouts to you guys watching this video. Because I know they grew up watching dozens and dozens and dozens of TV shows and movies. And starting to understand that most of them are good. Like maybe 40-ish% of them. While the other 60% probably not that perfect. Kind of like a perfect example of this is like most of the direct-to-video Disney sequels. I mean, to be fair, you would occasionally get a few decent ones that are not that bad. Like The Lion King 1.5, Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Return of Jafar, and Aladdin and the King of Thieves, for example. But sometimes you will often get a few bad apples in the Disney direct-to-video lineup. Like The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, for example. And look, maybe not, and I know that maybe some of the later seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants might not have been that perfect, but they're slowly getting a bit better. Heck, I even did a video yesterday about the future of the Scooby-Doo franchise and how it's slowly getting back to normal, which I'm glad you guys seem to like. But anyways, sometimes it's really not. It can be really hard to think of a good TV show or movie, even if that certain show or movie turns out perfectly. But don't get me wrong, there are still some good shows and movies that we already knew and loved. Especially the ones that I have on my desk right here. So you probably get the idea of where I'm getting at right now. And yes, making TV shows and movies isn't always that cracked up to be. It's still a little difficult to pull off. Depending on the direction, depending on who's directing it, producing it, editing it, acting in it, or writing, or at least writing that certain show and movie. And don't get me wrong, I'm still glad that things are slowly getting back to normal for the Scooby-Doo franchise. But at least it's a prime example of what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you guys are understanding what I mean when I said making TV shows and movies isn't always that cracked up to be. And still funny that I'm making a video about it. I'm sure there are so many other people on YouTube talking about how difficult it is to make a certain TV show and movie work well. You know? Which I totally understand. Heck, when I often watch Transylvania 65000 and Monster Dog on Tubi, those films might not be perfect, but they are at least enjoyable to watch over and over again. If you're into like scary movies and campiness and this retro things like me. So anyways, I think, yeah, it's really hard to come up with something totally new and original. Especially when most studios are struggling to get their act together. Like Warner Brothers and the Walt Disney Company. Okay, to be fair, the Walt Disney Company is sort of the big subject. Even though, to be fair, they did have few decent projects that are sort of helping the company get their act together. Like Inside Out 2 and Once Upon a Studio, which was a short film that's meant to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. Heck, even Teen Titans Go did an episode about the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers, which, based on the clips, I still like. I still love it. So don't anyone think that I'm joking, because I'm not. Anyway, off topic here. So if you guys have any interest in making a TV show or movie, always try your best to make it perfect. Even if it might end up being a disaster. Always try to work hard. Yeah. And maybe not get too stressed out, okay? So at least I know that there are some people who are at least trying to make a good TV show or movie. Even if it might seem, even if it's not that easy to make. So I hope you guys understand where I'm getting at. And again, trying to make a good TV show or movie like these, for example, might not be that easy. But to be fair, trying to make these TV shows and movies good can be a little bit difficult. But sometimes it can be worth it, okay? It's worth trying to make these shows and movies good. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and stay groovy.